So Don asks further, again, please explain the process of healing, of training the healer. Ross says, there are many ways to train a healer, and we'll give a general introduction here. Ross says, there are many ways to train a healer. We'll give a general introduction here. Firstly, the mind must be known to itself. This is perhaps the most demanding part of the healing work. If the mind knows itself, then the most important aspect of healing has occurred. This is because consciousness is the microcosm of the... The second part of healing involves disciplines of the body. In the energy streamings coming to Earth at this time, these understand the balance between love and wisdom in the use of the body and its natural functions, as I said. The third area of healing is the spiritual, and in this, the first two disciplines of mind and body training are connected through the attainment of conscious contact with intelligent infinity. Conscious contact with intelligent infinity. No little matter. So, the mind is, knowing the mind is the first part of healing. So, healing really means know yourself. And so, knowing yourself can't be done without accepting the self. And so knowing and accepting is development of fifth and fourth chakra. Knowing is 5, accepting is 4, although they work together. So mind knowing to itself is most difficult because, the eye is seeing the eye. Within the box of mind, the mind is seeing itself from within itself. This is the value of meditation, one value, which is developing silence of mind or detachment from thinking, feeling, some disidentification with the arising thinking and feeling, which we all do. We all identify. I am angry, I am sad, I am happy, I am boy, girl, I am whatever. That's not I. That's arising thought and feeling in mind. And identifying with it and becoming attached to it prevents us from knowing it fully, or healing, or going to deeper levels of freedom. So the mind knowing itself is the most important aspect of healing. Interesting. Consciousness is a microcosm of the law of one, meaning consciousness is a function of mind. It isn't mind itself. Mind contains consciousness. In Buddhism, there are considered the 5 heaps, H-E-A-P-S, the 5 heaps, or maybe it's the 6 heaps. The first is form or body. The second is feeling or sensation. The third is perception. The fourth is mental formations or thoughts and ideas. And the fifth is consciousness. Those are the 5 heaps. These 5 heaps, H-E-A-P, are like piles of stuff. The Buddha, you really can learn a lot about the mind by studying the old Buddhist writings. They really are very deep. And even the terminology, the etymology or the definition of the original Pali, P-A-L-I, Pali language terms is very revealing. So the Buddha considered the functions, the elements of mind to be heaps, like stuff, like husks of corn. They're just stuff that builds up. And consciousness was the highest of those. So consciousness is sentience, or awareness of something, but not pure awareness. When pure natural awareness attaches to an object, like body sensation or feeling or perception or thoughts, then it's consciousness of something. Consciousness of eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness. But more than that, really, consciousness of mind. Consciousness is consciousness of all or anything. And that is a microcosm of the oneness of all things, or the unity of all being one life, being experienced by consciousness. Second part of healing involves disciplines of body, and again, that's the comment about this teaching today for us. The energy streaming is coming to Earth at this time require body training to be understanding and discipline regarding balanced love wisdom in using the body in natural functions. I think that's not so hard to understand. The natural functions being eating, sleeping, sexuality, pleasure, security, like that, healing or health, well-being, maintenance, this kinds of thing, in balanced love wisdom. And that really means, take care of it, but don't go into austerity or indulgence. It's the middle path, like Buddhism. Third area of healing is spiritual, and that connects the first two disciplines of mind and body, and the connection is by attainment of conscious contact with intelligent infinity. So that's consciously knowing you infinite nature, infinite being, and thereby having free use of intelligent energy. The adept is no mean feat. The achievement of adepthood, adeptness, is no mean feat. It's quite a piece of work. I've seen some and met some, and they're really serious guys. I talked to a friend about this, and it's like the 24/7 athlete lifestyle. They are disciplined 24/7. They are meticulous. They are highly careful about what they do, what they eat, what they say, and they might eat anything. They might smoke and drink even. But their consciousness is meticulous, and their awareness and mindfulness is spot on, moment by moment. And so it's a piece of work. Anyway, further, Don asks, tell us more about training of body and spirit. That's interesting. Mind is a piece of work, and we'll get into that next. What about body, spirit? Body. Ross says, imagine the body, beginning with the more dense, meaning biological aspects. Continue on, and then consider the energy pathways which revolve and cause the physical body to be energized. You should know that all natural functions of the body have all aspects from dense to fine, and all these can be transmuted to the sacramental. This is a brief introduction to the healing of body. To speak about the healing of spirit, imagine the function of a magnet. A magnet has two poles. One reaches up, the other goes down. The function of the spirit is to integrate the up-reaching yearning of mind-body energy with the downpouring and in-streaming of infinite intelligence. Lovely. Okay, so let's go to body. Body, all natural functions of body, and the body itself, has all aspects from dense to fine. So the dense is the biological. In Buddhism, they were very anti-body attachment in the early days especially. And so they used to say, a sack of pus and shit. And one of the exercises, a very hardcore exercise, in fact, it was done in the Thai temple where I did, which is to name the body parts, like hair of the head, skin, nails, teeth, naka, taka, tako, denta. These are some Pali terms for hair, bones, teeth, skin. And you get a real kind of sense of the body as a piece of meat or something. And one temple in Thailand, Ajahn Chah, C-H-A, beautiful teachings. I think that it had like a preserved fetus in a glass in the meditation hall or outside the meditation hall, just so people could develop detachment from body. It's a good question. Is it a form of self-loathing? It's considered an excess of that practice when it gets to self-loathing. But the practice is to realize that that body isn't yourself. It's not loathing a self. It's actually putting into perspective an assumed self, a cherished element that's considered a self. So it's an interesting. Now, I knew a guy who did this practice, who believes he did this practice in past lives, and he had a real problem with sexuality in this life. He was a good student of Buddhism in college with me, and he definitely had some issues because he had done too much of this practice, he believes. And number one, you can say, well, okay, those are the dense aspects of body, pus and shit and bile and phlegm, and the Buddhists go through this. But that was 2,500 years ago. So maybe a hardcore presentation like that is not necessary today. I think it isn't. However, it is an interesting point that this piece of meat, this body, is not us. However, this body is also an energy manifestation and not meat at all. Meat is not meat. So it's very subtle. All natural function, there's nature and function. For Ra and in sixth density, they say our purpose is our nature, or their purpose in teaching is to share their nature. Likewise, in understanding anything, its function and its nature are different but same. So the function of the body, the natural functions of the body, right? Eating, sleeping, sexuality, walking, standing, have all aspects from dense to fine. Right? So the natural function, singing choral hymns is a little bit finer than shitting. But on the other hand, the nature of body is all aspects, or all. The body is itself both dense and fine and subtle. It's all. So yes, of course we should take care of it. It's not about not taking care of it. In Buddhism, you see, it's different. Buddhism is seeking radical detachment of all that is not the self, which includes even consciousness. So the Buddha said, even consciousness is born of ignorance. Even consciousness falls away as a considered objective reality at the highest levels of awareness. And that's conscious contact. So we're talking about different levels of training and different goals in a sense. So, but the body then actually has all these different aspects and can be understood in all these ways. And to talk about the spirit, what is the spirit? The spirit itself is like a magnet, and the magnet reaches down. And so the function of spirit, again, the nature of spirit is like a magnet, and the function is the bridging that a magnet may do, which is to integrate the upreaching yearning of mind-body energy, which is, like a tree or a plant. The tree or the plant seeks the sun. And the natural movement of Kundalini energy from root chakra, actually going from bottom to top, coming up, upreaching, and that's that upward spiraling light, that ascendancy, that movement is considered the natural movement of energy. And then there's the downpouring and in-streaming, pouring down and in-streaming into the centers. of intelligent infinity or infinite intelligence, that integration is done by the spirit field. So the spirit field, like the head, is the joining point between a unified body-mind, and the cosmic infinitude, the plenum of all. Now that's the physical view, right? That's just the physical vision of the physical analogy. It's not exactly like that. So physically we say, okay, there's this oblong, this egg-shaped body-mind capped by a small little head in reference to the body, sitting in the plenum of all being or all life, all energy in the field. The purpose of that head is as a bridge synthesizer magnet joining the incoming energy coming down from higher self, coming in from all life, all energy field into the seven centers, actually, but particularly into the root chakra, to blend that incoming downpouring with the natural ascendancy, seeking movement, yearning, beingness of mind-body development. So